It has been a hot minute. Normally don't make these off the cuff recordings. I don't make videos often at all, much anymore. A lot of time goes into recording and also the editing, which is painstaking. It is a bit of fun, but it is painstaking. So what I do resort to is just videos like this where I hit record and start talking. Um, but it's been a while. It has been a while, but I don't get the kind of traction or interest that I do on other social media platforms, so I don't do them as often. But at the same time, I recognize the value in having them and myself being able to maybe come back and look at them in the future, or for the few people that click through off Instagram and onto these and pay attention or are curious about the wanderings of my mind, thank you for your presence. So I'm talking to you, but also I'm just talking to my future self. I am recording this from my childhood bedroom, in fact. And I'm on a visit. So I live in Melbourne. Family lives in Brisbane. It's where I spent 26 years of my life. Um, so whenever I come back here, it's always a jumble of different feelings. And, you know, one of my favorite things to do, apart from regress into my teenage self and leave my clothes littered around. Who am I kidding? I still do that where I live now. But one of my favorite things is to read over old journals, and I have a lot of my journals actually with me, not here, but in Melbourne where I live, because I am working on my second book. So I've got a huge bag of them there, but I have a few of the journals before that time period here, and I found one that I hadn't seen in a while. It's this little nugget, and this was actually this is how much I love journaling. I had a morning journal, which I think I just kept for writing in the mornings when I'd get to work early, and then I'd have a normal journal which I'd use at night time. My commute used to be like 45 minutes, and then I would get to work early. I My car had no aircon, and the window was jammed because I was being an idiot once and playing around with it, winding the window up and down the automatic thing, and it just went clunk clunk and got stuck up. So my car would be very hot. So I would go to work sweating, and then I'd get there early, sit in the car park, and dry out before I put on my shirt. So I'd drive to work shirtless because that's what you do when you're young. You literally shovel shit. Um, but I found this journal, and it has a few post-it notes that I kept on my desk when I was there. Little things I needed to remember. But I'm going to take the first journal back to, if you can see that, the 18th of the 6th, 2012. So I think I was 24 at the time and about to start a new job. And I'm going to read it out to you. This is my first entry, and I'm not sure on the direction this journal will take. But I guess I'm once again standing on the line of the unknown. Today the real test begins, and while I'm nervous, I know deep down I've felt this exact way many times before. I've never let myself down. When I got put on extended probation at my last job, or when it came to getting promoted there, or when it came to finishing my design course. Life is full of challenges and also surprises. Many of the things that have taken to place, I was not able to foresee. I guess what rings true is Plato's theory of caves. Your knowledge of what you don't know is always going to be limited by what you do know. And this is where just faith and belief comes into it. If you just take that step, you'll find out either way if you can fly. The universe has never let me hit the ground yet. I've fallen many times, but I've always caught myself off to work. So yeah, I wrote that when I was just about to start a new job. It was my first proper marketing job. I had the shirt and the tie, and I was so excited. Um, but reading that, just the part about the line of the unknown really rings true. It just hit something for me, and I'm thinking about how many times I've had jobs after that, another job. I've been through, a fair few. Things have definitely gotten better along the way. At that time, the automotive industry meant nothing to me. I had zero interest in cars, but it was a job I was able to get. So there's no sort of emotional connection. But today I'm a counselor. I do youth work. I have jobs that really ring true to who I am as a person. But that bit about the line of the unknown just stands out, and it got me thinking about how throughout every scenario or chapter in my life, I've always found myself at the line of the unknown, and how initially when I was younger and I didn't have this kind of evidence or experience, that really scared me. The line of the unknown, heading into the unknown was terrifying. Even though there was a tingling on me that knew it was for my own growth and benefit. Now, when I see the line of the unknown, it still makes me a bit anxious at times. For example, like a year ago, I started doing youth work, going into a home where young people, have experienced quite severe trauma, really challenging behaviors. That was terrifying, to think about. But I've been there a year now and been, successful in some of the outcomes that I've been able to cause about working there. So, yeah. Now I look at the unknown, and now that I'm older, and it excites me. I go towards it, and it's not just something I fear, but it's something I need, because I see that zone of the unknown as being alive, challenged, and the opposite of that is just feeling stale and steady. So, yeah, I really think it's healthy for individuals to continuously be on some sort of horizon of sorts and pushing into new territory. And that's kind of like an essential part of life. It's just continuously being put up against, whether we pursue after them or not, new challenges, new decisions, just the unknown. But with time, our relationship with it changes, because we're able to look back on the previous times that we've worked it out, or we've grown wings on the way down, and those leaps of faith are always gonna happen. Be it the first time you try to walk, the first time when you start driving on your own, the first time working in an office or a new job, or whatever it is. We're never going to have all the sort of like answers or the knowing, but yeah, we figure it out, and we test ourselves, and we learn, and we become more capable people, and our skills and resources develop. So yeah, forever on the unknown and heading towards the unknown. I think it's one of my favorite movies, Into the Wild. Christopher McCandless, the main character, he says, you know what? I know what he says because I have it in my book. If you're watching this video and you haven't downloaded and read Living in Cream, I'm gonna be very disappointed. I'm just kidding. So that's the quote, so I'm going to read it out to you. The joy of life comes from our encounters with new experiences. and hence there's no greater joy than to have an endlessly changing horizon, for each day to have a new and different sun. Into the Wild, great movie. Cool, thank you for tuning in.